What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm reviewing Killers of the Flower Moon. In the 1920s, members of the Osage Native American tribe of Osage County, Oklahoma are murdered after oil is found on their land, and the FBI decides to investigate. This movie is directed by Martin Scorsese. This was one of my most anticipated movies of the year. Leonardo DiCaprio is my favorite actor of all time. I love Robert De Niro, and Martin Scorsese is one of my favorite directors of all time. So the three of them coming together naturally got me pretty excited to go see this movie, and they delivered. This movie's great. It's very long, and it's pretty heavy, but it's a very interesting and important story to tell. The fact that this is based on a true story and it isn't talked about more or even well known is kind of crazy. It not being common knowledge does work in the film's favor though, because it takes you on one hell of a journey. This movie constantly surprised me with certain developments and character choices that were just insane, especially when you realize that this actually happened. I was shaking my head, I was laughing in disbelief, and I was just stunned watching this play out. It's a very immersive movie. Marty did a great job with capturing this setting. It really sucks you in and everything feels so natural. Sometimes period pieces can feel a little inauthentic or pretentious, but this one just felt real to me. There's definitely some Scorsese-isms in here, but it also feels kind of different from his other movies. Like, he got comfortable, but not too comfortable. He tries some new things, and obviously the setting is very different from anything else he's ever done. It feels like a Western mixed with a crime drama like his usual movies, but swap out the mob for a group of bandits. The two styles work really well together, and I guess that makes sense because cowboys were kind of the first gangsters, I guess. Without going into any details, I'm just going to say that I absolutely love the epilogue of this movie. Basically, every movie that's based on a true story has one, and they're kind of all the same, but Marty really did something fun, powerful, and special with this one. I'm not going to speak on the story anymore because honestly, I think it's best that you just go in with a vague idea of what the movie's going to be about and just let the movie take you where it's going. Leonardo DiCaprio is phenomenal as usual. His character is a very frustrating and complicated one to watch. There's some shades of Rick Dalton from Once Upon a Time in Hollywood in his performance, but with some dark and dirty undertones.
Hell are you looking at, you little ginger-haired fucker?
Definitely one of the best performances I've seen this year. And the same applies to Robert De Niro. I mean, the man's a living legend. Of course he's great in this movie. I don't really want to speak much on his character, but man, he's a silver-tongued devil. He was definitely a scene stealer and just gave a riveting performance. Lily Gladstone is also amazing. She's like the emotional centerpiece of the movie, and I think I actually could have used a little bit more of her. He's not in the movie much, but I wanted to give a shout out to Jesse Plemons. I really enjoyed his character. He had some needed levity, and he's also a very important character to the story. Honestly though, everyone's great in this movie. Even the actors that only have a line or two are amazing. They really just fit into the setting and vibe of the film. And I also thought the music and the score by Robbie Robertson were great. A lot of Western cowboyish stuff with some Native American drums and music. I think it added a lot to the film. There's also some beautiful cinematography in here. There's one scene that involves fire that's just stunning to look at, and the setting itself is beautiful. It's a very good looking movie. Funny enough, I think this and Oppenheimer share some of the same flaws. The main one being the pacing of the first act. It takes a while to get going because there is a lot of stuff to set up, and it's not boring. I was still into it, but once the movie really gets going, it just gets a lot better. So looking back on it, the first act is a little bit weaker than the rest of the movie. And this is going to sound a little weird, but I was more emotionally invested in the story than I was in the characters, but I wanted to be more emotionally invested in the characters than I was. Like I said before, if there's a little bit more Lily Gladstone in this movie, I don't know if I would have this nitpick. And I say it's a nitpick because the characters are great. Whether they're good or bad people, they're interesting to watch. Not every story is filled with like good relatable characters that you can root for. And this is a prime example of that. This story is mostly filled with horrendous people doing absolutely horrendous things. There's definitely people to root for, but they kind of just get pushed down to the bottom so the filth can rise to the top and really just hammer home the point of the movie. But I think if there's a little bit more good in the movie, it would have balanced it out a little bit, and I think it would have made the movie hit a little bit harder, even though it hits pretty hard already. Hopefully that makes sense. I'm trying to be super vague so everybody that hasn't seen the movie can go in and just experience this thing. Overall, this is a very long, dark, and heavy movie to watch, but if you strap in and go on this journey, it's a very immersive, important, and rewarding experience. Marty brings some of his signature style with a new coat of paint, and his two best partners in crime, Leo and De Niro, who are both on their A game and deliver some of the best performances of the year. Killers of the Flower Moon is classic clocking in at a 98% on the Bravo barometer. I absolutely love this movie. I can't recommend it enough, even though I know it's not going to be for everybody. If you're a cinephile or just patient and open to slow burn movies, I think you'll really enjoy it. You could just really feel the passion that went into the creation of this movie. And it shows. We really don't get movies like this very often, so please go out and support this movie. See it in theaters. It's pretty much a masterpiece in my opinion. But those are just my opinions. Let me know what you thought of the movie and my review. If you like my review, drop a like on the video and subscribe for more reviews and streams coming very soon. And as always, I appreciate you guys for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out, everybody.